Hey everybody, Steve Bellman here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to continue our series called Mastering Rhythm. And today we're going to talk about an interesting subject, which is 16th notes. And specifically, I'm going to break down those 16th notes, show you what they look like, and how we count them, and how they're broken up within the context of the quarter note. This is where we start to get into more complex rhythms. And from here, we're going to get into what we call syncopation, which is probably the most difficult part of reading music, is reading music that's syncopated. And I'll explain what that means when we get into it. But today, we're just going to simply break down the 16th note and how we're going to approach counting it and all that. Okay. And we'll have some exercises at the end, but this is going to prepare us for the next video where we'll be actually reading 16th notes with all the other note values that we've talked about to this point. And those are whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, and now we're adding 16th notes. So again, if you haven't seen the previous videos, I would encourage you to go back and check those out before you come to this one. All right, with that said, so in the last video, we had talked about eighth notes. And I had mentioned that it is the first subdivision of the beat, meaning that we're taking the quarter note, that's each quarter note is one beat, and we're subdividing that and making it two notes within the framework of that one beat of each beat, right? So the way we counted it was one and two and. So it's not two beats within the quarter note, they're two notes. Each quarter note then is subdivided into two notes. One and two and three and four and, right? Okay, so if we look back at the half note, remember that got four beats. And when we went to the whole note got four beats. Went to the half note, it got two beats. Went to the quarter note, it got one beat. The eighth note got half a beat. So you can see that as we go down this rhythm, everything is being cut in half. So what we're going to do is instead, we're cutting the eighth note into two particles now, which there's the equivalent of two notes in a quarter note, two eighth notes in a quarter note. Now, if we split the two in half, we're going to have four. So what that means is we're going to have four notes in the space of one beat. Okay. So now we're going to have to figure out another way of counting that. And I'm going to show you what that is in a second. And we call this the second subdivision of the beat because we're dividing the quarter note now into four notes. Okay. Again, not beats, but four notes. There will be four notes in each count, each click, I should say, each beat. All right. Okay. So here's how we're going to count them. If these are the four beats, I'm starting with this, or four notes, sorry, I'm starting with this as the beat. It would be 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Okay, so very simple. And you see it on the screen. You see how to write it out. So that's how we're going to subdivide every quarter note now. Okay. Now that would be if we're playing all the 16th notes. We're going to get to some rhythms where we don't play all the 16 notes. We're still going to count, but we're not going to play every one of those notes. All right, so let's try that with just the 4/16 notes. We'll try counting it. So here we go together. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and take a breath. We'll do it again. Ready and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So again, every time I count a number, that's representing the beat, and I'm trying to keep it with my foot too, which you might not be able to hear too well. But there will be four of these notes in every beat that we have, okay? And we're dealing with 4/4 time. I didn't say that, sorry. So we're going to count to four. 1, 2, 3, 4. But these same rhythms are going to work in 3/4, 2/4, 5/4, 6/4, whatever, as long as the bottom number is a quarter note, based on a quarter note, the beat's a quarter note. this is how you're going to count these rhythms. Okay, you're just going to include whatever the number is. So if it's 3/4, you only go up to 3. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's the first rhythm we're dealing with, where we sing all of the 16th notes. The second rhythm then is going to be a variation of that. Now, remember, there's going to be the equivalent of 4/16 notes in every beat. But it doesn't mean it has to be 4/16 notes. As long as it equals the equivalent of 4/16 notes, you're good. So in this case, we're going to have 2/16 notes and 1/8 note, right? So for every eighth note, inside of eighth note, there are 2/16 notes. So what that means is we're going to count 1 end, and because it's an eighth note, it's going to get these 2/16 notes. We don't say the ah. We count it, but we don't say it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So I'm still counting all the 16th notes in my mind, but I'm not playing all the notes depending on the rhythm. So instead of 1 and we're just saying 1 and 2 and. Okay? All right. The beam's going through all the notes, but again, the last note you can see is beamed as an eighth note. So 2/16 notes and an eighth note. All right? Okay. So here we go. Let's try that rhythm. We'll do a few bars with it. Here we go. Ready, play, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and one more bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. So I hope that's making sense. All right, let's go to the third one. And the third one now, you can see the rhythm. It's just a 16th note, a single one, and then it's a dotted eighth note. Now, with a dotted note, a dot on a note adds half the value of whatever it's attached to. So in this case, the dot is attached to an eighth note. And we learned that inside an eighth note, there are 2/16 notes. So half of 2 is 1. So it means it's going to get the equivalent of an eighth note, which are 2/16 notes. And then the dot is half of whatever it's attached to. So that would add the third 16th note. So if we look at it in terms of our hand, we're going to be saying 1 So the end are going to be silent. I'm going to count them, but I'm not going to play them. 1 2 right? Okay, let's try that together. So we'll do a couple bars of that rhythm. Here we go. Ready, and 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 Okay, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Another variation is the opposite of the second one, and that's going to be the fourth one, which you can see now it's an eighth note. The beam is going through all three notes, but it's an eighth note and then 2/16 notes. So again, all I'm doing is I'm using the same 1 and I'm just applying that to this rhythm. But you'll see that with the parentheses, I didn't mention that, but where the parentheses are, that's indicating that you count it, but you don't say it. You can see that on the E, we're counting it, but we're not going to say it. Okay, so it's the same counting, 1 and but I'm not saying all the counts. I'm just saying the ones that are written. So 1 and 2 and okay. So we do the first one, the second one we count. We still hold the note, 1, right? And then we count the last 2, the end up, okay? So again, let's do 2 bars. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these rhythms together. So we're going to go from the first rhythm to the second rhythm to the third rhythm to the fourth rhythm, and we'll do a bar for each one. So it'll give us a chance to kind of get comfortable before we move on. Okay. So one bar on each rhythm. Here we go. Ready, play. And 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so those are the first four rhythms that we're going to deal with. Now, let's look at the last two. Now, these are a little bit more complex. So they might take a little bit more time for you, and that's okay. Some of you might find them easy, but for the most part, they're a little bit more syncopated. Um, and again, syncopation is something that is more challenging in rhythms. So let's look at the first one. So this is number 5, but this is the first of the harder rhythms. So if you see it now, it's actually the reverse of number 3, right? So number 3 has the dotted eighth note as the second note. Now the dotted eighth note is on the first note, but the breakdown is the same. It's going to get the equivalent of 3/16 notes. And again, you see the parentheses are around the E and the end. So we're gonna sing the one and the ah. So the first and the last 16th note. So with my hand, one, sorry, one, two, three, four, ah. Again, I'm still counting 1 and 2. I'm still counting all the 16th notes in my mind, but I'm only hitting the first and the last. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that's the fifth rhythm. The last rhythm, the sixth rhythm that we're going to deal with, this one is a combination of the third and the fifth one. So if you look at the rhythm, we're going to have a 16th note, the one line there on the first note, then it's beamed over, there's an eighth note in the middle, and then there's a 16th note at the end. So again, all we're doing is taking the one eanda and breaking it up accordingly to how that rhythm is. Remember, an eighth note gets two 16th notes. So in this one, beat 1 is going to be the 16th note. Then we need two 16th notes to fill that eighth note. So it's E end, and then is the last 16th note. All right, so the last rhythm then, we have 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. Okay, let's try that rhythm together one more time. This one again has a little bit more of a challenge to it because it's more syncopated. So here we go. Ready, play, and 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. One more. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. All right, so there we go. Those are the rhythms that we're going to cover, those 6 rhythms. Now, here's what I want you to do first, guys, especially if you haven't had any experience with 16th notes before, is I want you to start with each rhythm individually, and I want you to vamp the rhythm. So vamping means just play it until it feels comfortable. Now, one thing I didn't mention, but these 16th notes have to be evenly spaced within the beat. So it's not, 1 E, 2 E, 3 E. You have to make sure that the notes are lining up with that first rhythm, which are the 16th notes. Da, 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 right? So even though I might be playing the fifth rhythm, da, 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 I have to have those 16th notes in my head, so I hit the in the right spot. 1 E and 2 E and 3, right? So you want to first make sure that you're you're spacing the rhythms correctly within the context of the beat. So I would say take each one of the 6 rhythms and play it with a metronome, just vamping it. Okay. Once you get that, then play each one 4 bars. So play the first rhythm 4 bars, then go to the second rhythm, play it 4 bars, third rhythm, fourth, and so on, all the way down. Get comfortable with that. Then make it 2 bars. So you're going to play the first rhythm 2 bars, second rhythm 2 bars, third rhythm, so forth. Then what I want you to do is what we're going to do next, which is going to be, then I want you to break it up into 2 beats each. So the first rhythm will get 2 beats, the second rhythm 2 beats. So each rhythm then, it's going to take 2 rhythms to make 1 bar, because each rhythm is getting 2 beats. We need 4 beats. Then after you do that, then each rhythm is going to get 1 beat. And that's where it starts to get tricky, okay? So that means it's going to take 4 rhythms for you to fill up 1 measure of time. Okay, does that make sense? So start with that, start with the click, and you might find that on certain rhythms they're tougher than others. That's okay. Focus longer on that particular rhythm that you're struggling with. It's all right. We want to make sure that the rhythms are right before we move on, okay? So that's the first part of the assignment I want you to do. I'm going to get to some rhythms here, but this might be too much for you right now, and that's okay. Go back, do the first part, practice that with the click, make sure you have it, that you come back and you do this part, okay? But I'm going to put it in the video just so we have it there, so you can always come back to it and practice it, okay? So what I'm going to do is the last 2 parts of what I just said. We're going to first play these rhythms, each rhythm 2 beats, and we're going to do 3 examples of that. And then we're going to play the rhythms 1 beat each, okay? So again, this is a little bit more advanced. Make sure that you have the others before you try to go on and you try to do this particular one, okay? All right, so for this one too, I'm going to snap. I'm not going to do the finger thing. I'm going to snap, and we'll sing the rhythms together. All right, so here we go. Let me find a tempo that's going to work. I think that's good. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and repeat E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. Next one. 1 E, 2 E, 3 and 4 and 1 E, 2 E, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 E, 4 E, 1, 2, 3 E, 4 E. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm doing each one of those rhythms, each one of those bars, I'm repeating. Okay. So again, it's a little harder because we're going a little quicker. If it's too hard for you, stay with the first part. But eventually you want to go here, okay? So that's the first example. The second example now is going to be 1 beat for each rhythm. Okay, this is where it gets really tricky. And again, I'm going to repeat each one. So I'm going to count through it, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to repeat it. Then I'll go to the next one. So here we go. I'm going to do this one a little slower. Ready and play. And 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, 4 and 1, 2 E, 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2 E, 3 E and 4 E and 1 E, 2 and 3, 4 E, 1 E, 2 and 3, 4 E. All right, there you go. So that's the end of this video, you guys. But again, the next video we're going to read more of these 16-note rhythms, but also it's going to be combined with all the rhythms we've had up to this point. So that'll be good. The last thing I'll say is with the rhythm page, that first page, you can practice jumping rhythms too. So you can make up your own rhythm patterns by just, going from the 6th rhythm to the 3rd rhythm, and then go to the fifth rhythm to the first rhythm, and then go back and forth, and create your own rhythms. Because the more you do this, just the better you're going to get at it. And sometimes the hardest part are the transitions from one rhythm to the next. So it's a good idea to read it that way as well, okay? Whatever you do, just sit with these rhythms first with the metronome and play through them. Get used to the sound of them. Make sure you're playing them in the correct time. And then as you do that, go to the second part and you can read through the rhythms I just did. And again, in the next video, we'll spend more time reading the 16 note rhythms. All right? Man, it's been great being with you guys. I really hope this helped. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, you can check out my website, stevebellman.com. This is in book form. I just haven't put it up yet, but it will be up there, my rhythm book for you to buy as well. So that has more rhythms in it. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.